So, another episode of Game of Investing podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about a company which did a complete transformation and turnaround and added a lot of shareholder value in the last 5 years. I'm talking about a company called Palo Alto Networks, pretty famous. And it's a company which is one of the leaders in cybersecurity space. And this company saw a complete shift or turnaround under the leadership of Nikesh Arora, who was erstwhile a COO from SoftBank. He came and he took over the control of Palo Alto Networks as a CEO. And under his leadership, the company saw a significant shift in terms of shareholder value. The stock compounded at a annual growth rate of 29% during the last 5 years. Their revenue grew by almost a CAGR of 25%. Their EPS also grew by a CAGR of almost 24-25%. And the company at an operating level turned profitable. It was loss making roughly around $127 million loss when he took over, and it turned around and became profitable at an operating level. Today they generate $380-400 million profits. Now, what are the three things that Nikesh and team did right? And what are three things that Palo Alto Networks as a company did right? That is what we are going to delve into. And what are the future execution strategy with respect to the growth for Palo Alto Networks from an investment angle? That is what we are going to delve into, right? So the first thing they did right was to shift the focus of sales team. They did reoriented their sales team focus towards customer retention. That is net retention rate, NRR. Now, net retention rate directly impacts the customer lifetime value, CLV. Net retention rate is a pretty commonly used measure in enterprise SaaS-based world or software-based world, where customers retention becomes a key focus and the incremental revenue from your existing clients becomes a key measure, right, of growth. That shows the quality of growth. Now, NRR is nothing but, for example, let's put in a layman's term. If you have 100 clients, so you have a product company or service company, you have 100 clients. And suppose 80%, they are all using one product, right? 100 clients are using at least one product. That's why they're customer. Now, how much incremental revenue do these customers give you? Which means they might be either enhancing their subscription model, they might be increasing their spend, the customers might be buying new products from you, or they might be increasing the scope of the products from you, or they could be buying more features from you, from your product. So there are different ways, right? The customer can increase their spend, and that shows a net retention rate or incremental revenue from the retained customers. Now, this is an important factor because this directly impacts the CLV, that is customer lifetime value, because how much lifetime value the existing customers are adding, right? And this focus shift helped Palo Alto Networks bring in a 40% increase in lifetime value from existing customers, that too from the top 25% of the existing customers. What does top 25% mean? Because they are top 25% because they're the maximum spending customers, right? They spend the maximum from or use the maximum number of products from you, spending so much, right? So the top 25% customers increase the customer lifetime value by 40% during this 5 years of transformation, which was a significant leap, and that helped Palo Alto Network really look at revenue which is recurring. Now, recurring revenue is an important thing because as a management, I would look at how much revenue is going to reoccur in the next 5 years. That gives me a visibility, strong foothold in terms with my customers, and at the same time I can increase my existing product suite to cater to the demand of the existing customers. Revenue growth. Today, Palo Alto Network, 80% of their revenue is recurring revenue, basically. It's coming from existing clients. So that was the first thing they did, right? Today, at least 20 million and above, that's big deals or large deals. Existing clients are spending, there's a 40% increase in existing clients who are spending at least $20 million buying Palo Alto Networks products, right? So the recurring revenue, customer retention, and lifetime value. This is an important combination of flywheel effect that made Palo Alto Network leap ahead, right? Second thing what they did right was because you focus on net retention rate and increasing customer lifetime value, you need to have better products. You better be having products to cater to that demand. So what did they do right? They brought in product innovation. They continuously innovated new products and services in cybersecurity world. Now, I'll tell you something. Cybersecurity is not a realm, is not a domain where you just bring in one product, fit it, and say, look, you're good for the next 5 years. No, cybersecurity is a trend. It is a secular business. You need to keep up with the type of attacks that is done by the attackers. The attackers always on command. Whether it is geopolitical tension, whether it is malware, whether it is ransomware, whether it's vulnerability, DDoS, name it, data attack. All type of attacks are going to be updated. The attackers are consistently innovating themselves in attacking and taking away customer information, privacy, products, all of that, data hacking, everything, right? So they are sitting out there and continuously seeing what new ways they can attack. Okay, what new ransomware they can bring in and steal the data, and then they negotiate and take away huge amount from enterprises. The cybersecurity related incurred losses by these enterprises is significant. So they better be spending accordingly and keep up their armor fully equipped, right? They keep up with the best of the breed products so that they don't get attacked, right? It could come from anywhere. And today's world, the more and more enterprises are moving to cloud. They're exposing their data, they're exposing the customer information. They're public cloud, it's through APIs. So the attacking mediums and channels are only increasing, the horizons are increasing. So they better be equipped with all the latest and greatest of the products. And Palo Alto Networks didn't stop there. They kept innovating, right? I'll tell you some examples. In 2018, they came up with, you must have heard this WannaCry ransomware, right? In 2017-18 timeframe. It was so famous, they looted away money from many enterprises. The WannaCry ransomware and vulnerability malwares and all were the thing that were talked about in the enterprise world during 2017-18. And Palo Alto Networks brought the right product, called Traps Advanced Endpoint Security. Now, endpoint security is a critical factor, whether it is on-prem or your devices or as applications. Your endpoint security is critical, and they brought Traps, TRAPS, Traps Advanced Endpoint Security, exactly in 2018. So, WannaCry they had the right product at the right time, right, for the right customers. Now, I'll tell you about their product innovations. They were the first one to unify among 2 or 3 other players in the cybersecurity world. They were one of the first to unify the network security and security as a service on the edge, right? So they unified this called SaaS, SASE. SaaS is the in thing today in cybersecurity world. SaaS, SASE is Secure Access Service Edge. It kind of unifies your network security, your zero trust edge, your firewall, all of them bringing together. And the product that Palo Alto Networks is a leader according to Forrester and Gartner, and they have a product called Prisma, SaaS product, and they innovated this at the right time. They unified them. They launched this platform for their clients, and SaaS is growing. SaaS, according to Gartner, SaaS is like, I think the 6th, they listed 6 trends impacting infrastructure and network operations, and SaaS was right at the top, and the spend is increasing almost 40% year on year towards SaaS. So it is the market for SaaS itself is growing, and Palo Alto Networks is the leader. Their product is the leader out there. So which is a great thing, right? And then they innovated AI based operations, security operations center. They branded it under the name Cortex, where it is threat detection. The security operations centers are basically running out there in different parts of the world for these enterprise customers, and they will be in India, they will be in Philippines, many other places. What they do is they continuously observe and for threat detection, and they deviate or handle these threats. And it's not only the threats, it's vulnerabilities and many other factors, attacks and all of them. So the security operations centers are lights on all the time, right? And if you make that autonomous, if you automate most of that, it saves a lot of cost, it brings in efficiencies and other things. So Palo Alto Networks recently launched a product called XCM, Cortex XCM, which is a autonomous AI based Cortex product. and they are utilizing leveraging AI for protection, which is a great thing. They are into SaaS, so they are in the right places with the product innovation at the right time, right? And the last one, they shifted their model from license based to subscription based. Now this is key because the whole gamut of enterprise license out there were getting depleted or kind of running out of style, and all the enterprises were moving their spend towards subscription based because multiple advantages, right? During those time, subscription based means they are only going to get charged based on the consumption. They are going to get charged at a very low rate year on year, just like how much you pay for your Netflix or Disney services, right? You pay only for the services you use or consume as a customer, and you only pay for that, and so it's much cheaper. And for Palo Alto Networks, it's a win-win, right? They get to see a recurring revenue in a subscription way consistently. Now, the most important catch here is just because they shifted towards a SaaS-based model, the subscription-based as percentage of revenue went up from 60% to 80% during the last 5 years. And this 20% is a significant leap because that helped Palo Alto Networks improve their operating margin, because the customer acquisition cost went down a lot because it is a subscription based, it is a recurring revenue, customers are spending more on a retention mode, and your customer lifetime value is increasing, so your customer acquisition cost goes down. You're not in continuous search of new customer on completely depend on spending a lot. Of course they have to do that, and they have to keep up with the research and development. They have to spend an R&D, the operating expenses. They have to get the best of the guys spending SBC, that is stock-based compensation. All of those expenses remain. So that is why if you look at the valuation of this company, you shouldn't look at in terms of earnings based, because they're spending a lot in R&D. A lot of operating expenses goes in terms of stock-based expenses and all of that. So look at earnings value to gross profit level, and they are not trading very significantly at large on a historical manner. They're almost just below the historical average. It's around 15 today, and enterprise to sales is around 8 to 9 on a forward-looking basis. So it's not very highly priced, cost expensive, and they have good free cash flow. So they are generating free cash flow, and they are growing the free cash flow almost 38%, which is an important factor when it comes to valuation. So the FCF is growing 40%. The EPS is growing 25%, which is great. Revenue is growing 25%. I can foresee this kind of a growth for the next 5 years because they are at the right place. Whether it's Forrester, Gartner, whichever prediction you look at, the enterprise are spending more and more in cyber security in the areas they are present, whether it is SaaS, whether it is AI, whether it is SecOps, whether it is all of that, right? Security Operations Center. And they're bringing in efficiencies through AI and all of that. So great management. So Palo Alto Networks is an interesting case study, and I wanted to bring this to my audience as part of Game of Investing podcast. Trust this was helpful. Thanks for staying with me. Signing off, Sandeep.